Good morning, Rachel. How are you today?
I'm good. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I am so grateful that you said yes and that we're here today to really chat on our Opportunity Knocks podcast. And so, just for those of you who don't know what Opportunity Knocks is, it's a weekly series where we feature female entrepreneurs on how to take, create, evaluate opportunities, right? And so we all know that being an entrepreneur, and that's what we primarily focus on supporting, is that we have to really make some tough choices and figuring out whether or not the opportunities are right for us or not. So I wanted to invite Rachael Blumberg on, who honestly I'm so inspired by. I take her classes, or I used to take them all the time, but now I'm back at least 2 days, 2 to 3 days a week. And she owns a company called PLATEFIT, and it is super cutting edge technology and a workout that you can get in 27 minutes. So that's pretty amazing. So I want to actually have you start by first telling us just a little bit about yourself and, how did PlateFit come about?
So I'm going to try to be short because sometimes I can be long-winded because it kind of is a long story because I'm 41 now, 41 and a half. And this dream started so young. Yeah. But this dream of mine really started when I was 27. Wow. So yeah. So this journey started for me when I was 27. I grew up as a swimmer, a competitive swimmer. And then, in high school, started playing water polo and became, very, very good at water polo, and then played collegiately and played nationally. And so I was always into sports and always in the gym and always, weights and lifting. And anyways, just very, very, very athletic. And then I got a business degree.
Did you grow up here?
I grew up in the San Francisco area, okay, so Walnut Creek area.
Got it.
Got a business degree because that's what I thought I was supposed to do, and an accounting minor. And, and then after school, I moved up to San Francisco and then started doing like pharmaceutical sales and moved my way through.
You'd be really good at pharmaceutical sales.
I was good. I was really good. Yeah. Yeah. But I just was unmotivated. Like, I was good at it, but I didn't love it.
Was it your passion?
Wasn't my passion. And I met somebody that worked for a mobile startup company in Walnut Creek, and he offered me a job to like work for this mobile company. And through the mobile company, I met some people that worked at some of the studios down here. And Fox was looking for somebody to help put their mobile Facebook, their mobile MySpace application on the Razr phone.
MySpace.
Which is hilarious. I just say that because it's like, how far have we come since the Razr phone? Remember the flip phone?
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
And we were putting these antiquated apps on phones, and it wasn't even a thing yet. And it was MySpace. It wasn't even Facebook. And so that's what moved me to LA. And I had this dream since I was a little girl to be a teacher. And I wanted to be a teacher, but I also wanted to make money. I think it's okay to say,
Yeah, of course. I think it's important to say, actually.
It is important to say. So, and I think both of those desires are legitimate desires. And I didn't know how to marry them. I didn't know how to do both. And so I knew that I had a very passionate desire to help people in the fitness industry. And I loved working out myself, and I was, loved being healthy. And so I became certified as a bar method instructor. And that I did that in San Francisco, actually, before I moved down here. And the bar method was really one of the first exercise, small boutique exercise studios that was branded and cool. And they had a method and I just loved it when I was up there. So I became an instructor. And when I moved down here, I would teach at 6 a.m. before I'd go to work. And I made $25 that class, but I loved it. I loved teaching.
You're an amazing, I think you are still teaching.
I am.
You have an amazing way of inspiring people, because what I love, at least, is you hold me accountable. So you're constantly coming around to actually tell people what they are not doing right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or wrong.
Yeah. Thank you. So I loved working there, and I just knew that I was lit up when I would go there. And then a friend invited me to a gym in Los Angeles, this rehab gym. And I went with him to work out, and upstairs walk upstairs, and in the corner was this machine that I had never seen. And I've been in every gym, and I've been to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado, and I had never seen this thing. And I was like, and it had yoga mats and bars and weights on it. It was like a coat rack for gym.
It's like somebody's treadmill at home.
Exactly. So I asked,
Before the
like,
pandemic.
that thing? And somebody said, oh, it just vibrates. People, I think, like stretch on it or something. And I was like, oh, okay, great. Let me go try it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped on it, and I tell people that I had an experience that most people don't have the first time they get on, because most of the people that come into the studio have a, like, I'm not really sure what's happening. I don't know if I like this. Is it good for my body? Like all that stuff, which we can address later. But it is good for your body, and nothing bad is happening. It's like That's the opposite. But I had this experience where I intuitively was just like, oh my God. Like I felt this like internal massage on joints and tendons and like my knees and my shoulders. And like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, and I just felt the circulation, like opening my body. And I was like, this thing is incredible.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed with it.
Wow.
Like literally, I was like, I want to know everything there. I just like spent my whole hour there working on this machine and figuring out like what it was like on my own. And then I did some research and found out that it was a medical device, and that, you know, it was invented for astronauts to help them with atrophy of the muscles, which made sense to me. And that the concept was force equals mass times acceleration, which is why all the athletes used it, because they were creating like force with their body mass and the momentum of the plate. And I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then I learned that, like, you know, somebody that had, you know, learning disabilities could use it, because it would help their motor skills come together. To young athletes, to, you know, pro athletes, to people that were, you know, needed to recover from arthritis and Parkinson's and lupus and MS, to, you know, people that were a little bit older that just needed the muscle stimulation and the circulation.
Yeah.
So I was like, this thing's awesome.
Yeah. So it's interesting because you're what the word that comes up for me is like, you're curious. I mean, some people may have seen it sitting there in the corner and been like, okay, whatever, and walked away. But you dug in deeper and then did the research and then figured out the benefits, and you were inspired, like right from the beginning, it sounds like.
I was like, I like became like obsessed. I was like, I just wanted to know everything there was to know about it, because I was just like, there's something in me just knew that like, this was like something I needed to be doing. And I had loved, you know, teaching and, you know, all of that. And I found out that the machines were like $10,000 to $15,000, and that only very wealthy people could use it. I was 27, you know, I wasn't making like a ton of money. I wasn't making zero money, but like, you know, I could afford $27 classes or $30 classes, but I couldn't buy a $10,000 machine. And I just had this vision, like 3 weeks later, that I just wanted to open 100 studios.
Wow.
And I was like, I could see this, you know, everywhere.
How many years ago? Like 10 years ago?
No, I'm 41. I was 27. So that's 15,
yeah.
14 years ago. Yeah. And so anyways, I quit my job a week later, told my parents I was going to quit my job, and they were like, you're out of your mind. And I was like, I actually think I am out of my mind. Because
like, that's why it's going to work.
I didn't know how I was going to support myself. So I like, you know, because I supported myself. I didn't, you know, have the luxury of them supporting me or giving me money. I love my family, but that's just not my story. And so I put everything, I lived on the Wilshire corridor. I put everything in a red duffel bag, which I'll probably keep forever. And I like stayed with a friend the first night, and I was like, I just didn't know how I was going to make money. So I had the thought to contact PowerPlate, people who make the machine, and ask them if there's anyone I could train.
And where are they located?
They're located in Chicago.
Okay.
So they sent me up to Malibu. They said, there's this woman in Malibu you can go train, and she has gone through a few people, and I'm not sure if she'll like you or not, but go up there. They didn't tell me who she was. Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I was actually new to LA. I didn't like come from like this whole celebrity thing. Like I just came down here to work and maybe live here for a little bit.
Bay Area. This is not me.
Yeah. So I drove into this beautiful mansion, beautiful house that overlooked like the water. And I was like, oh God, I don't know where I am. And I walked in and her assistant came out and asked me what my sign was. And I said I was a Cancer. And she said, you'll do. And I said, great. And I walked downstairs to this beautiful gym that had a power plate in it, and then down and in walked Cher.
Wow. That is so crazy.
So crazy. And I was like, this is really I mean, I had like a woman that I was training at the gym that the place was at, but like she was really my first client, and her and I just hit it off. She's an awesome, awesome woman, and she loves the power plate. And we would spend hours together up there working on the power plate and doing some other things as well. But we just became really good friends. And she was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I really want to open a power plate studio. And she was like, bring me a business plan. So I brought her a business plan. And we opened a studio called Studio C in West Hollywood.
Oh,
it was in West Hollywood. Do you know where the Starbucks is? Like right in the heart of West Hollywood,
totally.
On Santa Monica. It was up above. So then it was like a dog. It was like a bunch of things. Flywheel was there recently.
Exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, exactly.
So we called it Studio C, and we had 14 plates. And she got her show in Vegas and was like, I don't want to do this small business anymore. And which was totally fine. And she was great. She's like, I'll let you lease the machines for me for like nothing. She sold me 5 machines for like nothing. And I found a gym down the street that was next to the Center for Early Education, which for those that don't know is a very affluent school here and a really good school. And it has a bunch of moms with kids. And I rented a room.
That work out.
Yeah, that work out. And I rented a room in this gym that was really, really gross. It was a 200 square foot room. I put 5 plates in there. I ripped out the floors, put in some floors, put up a mirror, painted the walls, got myself like a boom box that my phone would plug into and play music. And I just went to the school and like got women to come work out with me because no one had ever heard about vibration. And luckily I met a woman that was from Mexico City, because power plate is recognized sort of all over the world, more so than the United States, until like PLATEFIT came about, because now it's more and more recognized. But she was like, oh my God, my mom does this and I've been looking for this. Wow. And she just, one word of mouth and one thing led to another. And I built my business there, and did a lot of research and development is what I like to say. I remember just waking up over and over again being like, how do I get out of this? Like, I just worked all every day. Like I taught all the classes. I was just exhausted. And you can't do everything as a business owner, you know?
And it's important that, that, right? And that you were trying, but you knew that it was like, well, okay, what can I do to grow and how can I get there? What are my strengths, right? I just did a blog post on what makes people shine. And that's the whole thing is that there's a lot that we're good at and a lot we're not good at.
Yes. And then being
knowing when to pass it off.
Yeah, I'm not good at this, or I don't even like it.
Yes, exactly.
I don't like doing this part, and I don't want to do it consistently, And so being able to delegate has been like a massive thing for me. But anyways, my husband walked into the gym because I rented space out of this gym. It was a personal training gym, and he walked in with his trainer, and I was doing my classes in the corner, working there. And we had a very quick love story, and we fell in love.
Who's that hottie?
Yeah. And he was always like, he saw what I was doing and he was like, this is much bigger than you. And he saw that I was sold out every day. I only had, 5 plates there, but he saw that I was sold out. And he does all the expansion for a market here in Los Angeles called Air One. And he's got a very beautiful design eye. And he was like, I can build you a small little studio and we can brand it and we can see how this works. And so
that's amazing.
I know. And I actually got pregnant quickly after we met, which is just our story, which is fine. And it sort of was like I can't teach all the classes anymore because I'm going to be a mom. And so we opened PLATEFIT. So we decided, I always knew it was going to be PLATEFIT, but we opened with a brand and a website in about 3.5 months. He found a space, we built it. It was in West Hollywood on Kings Road. It was 400 square feet. So it was double the size.
That's a great location on Kings Road. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Seven plates in there. And it was when ClassPass was like at the height. So remember when ClassPass was $99 for unlimited?
Yes. It was so awesome. That's crazy. We would and I'm like a gym rat. So like I would go from place to place, like,
of course. And the great thing about that for us, it was like horrible for most studios, but for a brand new studio with a brand new concept, that wasn't really brand new because it's been around for like 60 years now, vibration, but it was marketing.
Absolutely.
We got in front of so many people because ClassPass was just sending people all day to us. And we ended up making like, we like made 30 grand the first month, which was insane, but it was all ClassPass money. So it was backwards. Like our money was coming from a third party and we knew that we needed to build a business.
Back. Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, we definitely have something. And then shortly thereafter, my husband's name is Yuval. He found the space in Brentwood.
And which is an amazing location.
Yeah.
Very convenient. It's right on the corner. Yes. I mean, at the time there was a yoga studio across, so it was like very easy. Yeah.
But I had my son, so I was pregnant. We opened in July. I had my son in May. And then he comes to me at the end of May and says, I have a space in Brentwood. And I was like, we just opened, like, let's just build this. And he was like, we have to do it. It's the best space. And I was like, I did not want to do it. And he really pushed me. And I was like, and then I also found out like a few months later that I was pregnant again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why they're 3 and 2 or 4 and 2, 3 and 2, right?
3 and 2. Yeah. So I got pregnant again when I was 5, when he was, I like almost Irish twins. Yeah. And then we opened Brentwood, and then, a year later we opened Studio City. And then this last year in 2019, we opened Sycamore, which is in Hollywood, in October. And then we weren't planning on opening Venice, but he found a space. And so we opened Venice January of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. But the awesome thing is that Sycamore was ramping so quickly, right, to break even. So it took us about 3 months to break even in Sycamore. And that was very
quick too.
Yeah, it is. It's very quick. So like
opening a business, that's very quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
That means you had a lot of volume. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think with opening more and more studios, people were knowing. So it's not like we were just like this brand new studio anymore. And then we opened Venice, and Venice, like we were broke. We were like, honestly, it was like 2 weeks. Wow. And I was like, we have like, this is awesome. Like we had finally like, and then we were just talking about like the expansion and like, do we want to take on money? Because this is fully self-funded by the two of us right now. And we had been approached earlier in the year with 3 studios by a gentleman that helped expand Blue Bottle. And we turned down a deal with him, even though I really wanted to work with him because I think he's awesome. His name's David Bowman. But anyways, we were gonna.
Is he a coach?
He's not a coach. He's he was, I think,
an investor who does like multiple things.
Blue Bottle, but he does multiple things. Yeah. So anyways, and then the pandemic hit in March. So we were open January, February, March 15th closed.
Wow.
Like all this momentum. And then we, had to close our doors. But
so we were talking about this just before we got on the call, but there's always silver linings and there's blessings in, this pandemic. And I mean, we know that the fitness industry has been hit so hard, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say, to people that would be faced with these types of choices that would be, about like taking this opportunity to what happened for you during the pandemic?
So, I mean, just to be really honest, which I think is always really good to do because it allows people to be honest with themselves, is that I just was really, really angry. Like I was like really pissed. Yeah. And I was pissed at Gavin Newsom. Like I was pissed at our mayor, and I'm very liberal. Yes. Like I just was like, this is a effing disaster. But also like scared of like COVID, and like, it was a whole thing. And I feel like when something, your dream is like taken from you,
the dream. Yeah.
By no fault of your own, you're like, what, like, who am I if I don't have this?
Yes.
Like, I don't just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Not that I don't think that that's an amazing thing for people, because whatever, but the truth is that that's what I've been doing, for the year. It's like I've been teaching a little bit, but I've also, like, silver linings are that, like, I've gotten to, like, really be with my kids.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and do a lot of family stuff. And I was angry. I've been sad. I drank too much, probably on, separate occasion. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like all over the map, right? And then decided, a few months ago, like probably 6 months ago, that, like, I just wanted to feel better, and just started on like an actual deep spiritual path for myself, like reading a lot more, journaling every single day, back into my meditation, like just getting a little bit more centered, and releasing anger, and just being like, if whatever's going to be is going to be, I have zero control.
Mm-hmm.
And what can I do now to move forward with this business that I love? I became very clear that this is something that I am passionate about,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes when you're in growth mode, you're moving so quickly that, like, you forget why you started it, right? And, like, I
Hard
really,
to catch up,
yeah, I really got to remember that, like, I started this because I like believe in vibration.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that it's so important for people and their health. And I really believe that it is like a vertical of fitness that everybody should have the option to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I want to be the person to bring it to every community where yoga is offered, and spinning's offered, and all these incredible things in fitness that we all get to do. Like, vibration should be one of them. And I want PlateFit to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I really believe in, like, what it does for people and how strong it makes us. And, like, I really love our community and how great we are and how open we are to everybody in all fitness levels. And I do believe that fitness looks different on everybody. Like, we were talking that, like, I've been an athlete my whole
Yes.
life, and I'm also 5'2", but, like,
Yes.
I don't, I'm a smaller build, but I'm also, like, I have muscle.
Yeah. No,
And
you're cut.
yeah, I
What
have
I'm
muscle.
seeing is that
And,
you're a
like,
smaller build, but you're
I'm
cut.
not tall, and,
Yeah.
like, so, like, it's like, I really believe, and I hire people like that too. So, like, I
I see
don't know.
that. I have to tell you, that's one thing that I really appreciate about your instructors. And I mean, people know I'm not a young spring chicken. I'm not old either, but I do feel like people that you hire are not only diverse racially, but they're also diverse from a male female perspective. And in
Yeah.
addition, teaching styles,
Mhm.
and that you don't feel like, oh, it's only the young girls there. And that I can't relate. It's interesting because we were talking earlier about the fact that I got certified in yoga. And I feel like the thing is that so many people think of yoga, to your point of incorporating it with vibration, of
Mhm.
like, oh, well, you have to be the really thin girl in that, that can only wear like the aloe clothing or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And there's such benefit for people. So I completely agree with you that you definitely, there's not a type. And I
No,
love
there
that.
shouldn't be a type in fitness. Like, I think if you
Absolutely.
come and you show up every single day and you're strong and you work out and you feel good in your body, then awesome. So when you come and you want to teach for PlateFit, like, it's not about what you look like per se. It's about your energy and, like, your intention behind why you're there. I can feel it. If you can actually teach a class, obviously that's important, and you have the confidence to teach a class, and you have the body awareness, and that you're physically strong. And that
Mhm.
doesn't mean you're physically skinny. That means that you're physically strong and you can make it through a class. And it's like, and diversity is always been part of my life. And so, hiring people that are the right fit for the company, I think when you do that, diversity just happens naturally.
Yeah, I think it just sort of
You know?
flows in.
Yeah.
It's part of like your persona. Like,
Yeah.
and what I'm loving hearing in you kind of describing a lot of this stuff is that, first of all, I'm so grateful that you didn't give up on your dream for multiple reasons. But honestly, like, what you do is a gift to people, whether it be that you're just the instructor or that you be the head of the company. And I think it's wise. I think during those periods of time in this last year of 2020, people had to slow down to really evaluate what was right for them. And, in doing so, it gave you this vision of perhaps like shifting to something different that you hadn't even thought of.
Yeah.
So I have to say that good for you for like going back and journaling and getting on the spiritual path, but also good for you for fucking getting angry.
Yeah.
I mean, no joke. You have
Seriously.
every reason to be angry.
Yeah.
And that's part of grieving. I mean, this whole like pandemic has been a death of what we all knew life to be,
Yeah.
and a rebirth of what's to come, you
Yeah.
know?
And then it's also like a really big deep dive into like you just have to trust. Because like it's like when something's out of your control, all you can do is what's in front of you. And just it's like today I'm just going to do this. I'm going to create content. I'm going to go give a good class. I'm going to be a good mom. I'm going to love my husband. I'm going to whatever the intention is. Seed of the soul is amazing, by the way. It's so good. But anyways, like whatever your intention may
One I
be,
don't know. Seed of the
it's
soul.
so good. It's hard to read. It's like for me, I like have to like journal and I have to read it and hear it. So I'm like all three going on at the same time. But it's a book that Oprah said like literally changed her life. And I've set like she sets intentions around everything now.
Are a big
So like anybody who brought her something for like an idea for a show, she'd be like, what is your intention? And if your intention is honest, then we can say yes or no. So people would be like, I just want to get ratings. And she'd be like, well, if it aligns with me, yes or no. But anyways, that was part of it. But it's like, set your intention for the day. And if I accomplish those things for the day, then I feel really, really good. And then things are just popping up. Right. So talk to somebody.
It sounds like you're getting really aligned with what you want. And like you said, sometimes, like you said, when you're in a growth mode, so many opportunities are coming your way that it's hard to sit and listen to what you really want, right? Because you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to take that because it's financially lucrative, or, oh, that person's connected to so-and-so, that'll help, grow the business or whatever it might be. But good for you. What an amazing opportunity to not only look at yourself, but, our businesses, like you said, are an extension of us. And so cool.
And become extensions of our kids. It's like, who do I want to be in this world? And what kind of like boss do I want to be? And do I still really, really love what I'm doing? Because I got, it just wasn't, it just wasn't there. And so now I feel like I'm really, I know what I want to do. And I do want to bring PLATEFIT still. And I do really love vibration. And I do really love this community. And I think it's so important to bring to other communities. And so opportunities are just presenting themselves without me having to do anything, which is great. So
exactly. And that's the alignment. That's the, like, I'm in the right space. Keep following the path that you're in. So I do have a question for you. It's just, when you're in this space, like now, of getting more aligned, like, what do you think you're going to do with the brand now? Like, what are your intentions?
So the intentions currently are, is we're going to continue building our on-demand platform. So I love being in a class. I love teaching, and I really, really, really dislike being behind a camera. As much as like, and what's so awesome about these young girls that you see on like Instagram and stuff, it's like, I love how confident they are in their bodies. And I feel like my age,
certainly
women are so not as, they're just not as confident. It's like all about being like thinner, skinnier, whatever. I just say that because it's just an interesting thing to look at. And I don't like being behind camera, and like, I need to be behind the camera. Like, I'm the face of the business. Like, I need to be behind the camera. And it's like, I've really had to let go of a lot of insecurity that I shouldn't have, because it's all bullshit anyways. And no one gives an F as long as I'm giving a great class, and it's all my own stuff. So it's like letting that go, really building the on-demand brand, which is great. Believing in like the sales of the plate that you can do at home, and then really looking at other places to expand. So I'm looking at Dallas and Austin,
that would be
Miami right now, cities and places that are open, maybe a Michigan space. And then just reworking the model of our business here and trying to grow it.
Yeah. Well, so the interesting thing is that when you're talking about like growing to these different places, I mean, obviously expansion of the brand, and with on-demand classes, that's going to help as well. Have you been getting a lot of people from other states, like doing your online classes or your on-demand classes?
So right now we only have Zoom. We don't have our on-demand app. So we don't, so right now what we're doing is we're just creating the content for it. And that's just a lot of like filming, and filming like, you know, some of our teachers that want to be there, and filming on the power plate and filming on the move that you can buy as well. So like just a lot of content. So like when you go to do yoga from your house, you know, I have Sweat Yoga. Like I subscribe to them. I love their studio. I missed it. But anyways, I can just go online and pick whatever I want to do. You know, so that's what we're creating. So I'm just a little bit more late to the game because I didn't think that we would be in a pandemic for as long as we are, but that's okay.
I wouldn't also say that you're late to the game. I think that everything kind of happens in their own time and that there's space and room for everybody. Because I know that as a, you know, founder myself, I go through the same things. I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? You know what, you know, I had a very similar story that you're describing, that people kept telling me to move online. And I was like, no, I like to connect to people. No, I don't need to do that. I like to be in person with people. That's the way I connect. But I have to say that was the benefit for me coming out of the pandemic, was realizing that I can connect to people even through Zoom, right?
Yeah, totally.
So, but the one thing I was going to share with you about being on camera and things like that is that, you know, I mean, you know better than anybody. First of all, the first part is awareness, at least you're aware of it. But secondly, is that you are, you're such a beautiful soul. And for you to hold that gift back from people is just such a miss, you know?
It was interesting. I was filming the other day, and you know, Matt and my CEO Ariella they're filming, and they're just like, you know, this went so much quicker than so many other people, and Matt's just like, you just have the confidence, and I'm like, when I get moving, I'm in it, you know, like this is my brand, like it's my baby. I know how to teach the class, like I could do it with my eyes closed, like, and there's a passion around it when I'm teaching, and so, you know, it feels good to be behind the camera. It feels good to be like, you know, just doing what I'm doing, showing my face a little bit more.
Yeah. Part of it is also just acceptance. It sounds like you had to go through the period of anger, like it's the grieving process, right? So you had to go through the period of anger to get to like, okay, I surrender. I have to do this, or I want to do this. And, you know, to kind of move forward to these next stages. So one of the things, because I know time is limited, I want to make sure that we get to the benefits of why the plate, like the opportunity to participate on the plate and everything that it's going to give to people, because there are so many benefits.
Yeah, there are so many. So the reason why it changed my life is because it changed my body and it changed my health, like physically. It first of all changed my body. Like I started to see a difference in like 6 sessions, which is crazy. That doesn't always like, that's not always everybody's story, but I just started to see small little changes in my body. I was like a yoga fanatic, and I was able to do handstands in like weeks where I didn't have the strength before. And I just felt better. Like I just felt better. Like I felt stronger in my bones. Like I felt like my circulation and my digestive system was moving. And like, I mean, not to be like graphic, but like literally it gets everything moving. And like, I just felt like things were functioning better, and I was sleeping better. And I just like felt like my skin looked better. And then, you know, when you do a bunch of research, you find out that like, you know, circulation, we know, is great for the body.
Absolutely.
And we also, it's like this huge craze right now, but like flushing your lymphatic system is incredible. And this flushes your lymphatic system in 30 seconds, right?
Really?
Like
I had no idea.
flush of your lymphatic system. I mean, there's just this like burst of like circulation moving, and your lymphatic system just gets like emptied, which is incredible. And there's a recovery portion to the plate where you get to stretch, and you're not going to stretch, and your muscles won't release with anything like this vibration. So you get more flexible in 30 seconds than you would if you were doing yoga for an hour and a half, like literally. And there's like tests that we can do, but like the flexibility, your range of motion, power, like
it's so
force.
funny that you say that, because today I'm super flexible. Like I said, to you, I was a gym, but the interesting thing was today I was stretching at the end and the plate was still on. And I was noticing how I was putting my hands in between my legs, right? And putting my head through. And I thought, oh, this is really interesting. I feel like I am moving further. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
You know? Wow.
And if you probably turn the machine down to the stretching vibration, which is 30.
Mhm.
So there's a 30 and 25. You can actually turn it down more. It allows the vibration to like, it's a deeper, longer vibration that allows the muscles to open versus contract.
Oh, interesting.
And
So,
so
because I do see on the machine, there's like 60, and I mean, it's like there's some.
that's time. So there's a 30, 35, 40, and 45 and 50.
Okay.
And the 30 is stretch, 35 to 45 is workout.
Okay.
And then the 50 is a recovery. So there's also a recovery. So you work out, you contract your muscles. You're doing 1,800 to 2,600 contractions, depending on the vibration. You're not going to get those contractions anywhere else.
No.
And they're safe.
And by the way, it's all in 27 minutes.
And you're like on a trampoline. So all these things that we do, these jumping jacks, the jump squats that you would do on the ground normally become very low impact. And so people that have injuries, people that don't want to injure themselves, like this is really therapeutic for their body. Because of the movement of the plate. It's like the trampoline. And then there's a recovery portion. So you can turn it up and it vibrates like it's like a tissue, like not like a deep tissue massage, but like a flush tissue massage. Like you lay down, you vibrate, somebody comes and presses on your legs, or we teach you how to do it if you're doing it at home by yourself, or you have your husband or whoever's with you press on your legs. But it flushes like all the toxins out of your body. It flushes the lactic acid. Like there's just so many great things. And then it's really
almost like we need a sign up in the studio or even on the homepage of the website that actually kind of like very graphically shows the benefits. So that people see it like right away. I have to say, like, I've never experienced any workout like it. It's super efficient. And especially just for turning, I love it so much. So I'm really grateful that you pursued your
so
dream.
happy to have you back. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So I want to just, if one last question, and that's really just if there was one thing you can tell any female entrepreneur that's looking to create an opportunity for herself, but doesn't know how to get started, what would you say?
You can start anywhere. Anywhere. Like I would get out of the house, because hows are like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to live? How am I going to make money? Like I had so many hows when I was 27, but I just did it. And if you're passionate about something, you have to get up every single day and you have to work towards it. Like it doesn't make, because some things fall in your lap, but it doesn't mean that you don't work for them. Like you have to get up every day and you have to work towards that goal. And there's going to be a lot of no's that are thrown at you. You know, like I got a huge no from Cher. I got a huge yes. And then I got a huge no. And I could have stopped, but I didn't want to stop. I wanted to actualize my dream. And I was in my gym for 8 years, that little gym for like, or 7.5 years. And if I would have, you know, how many things my head told me about, like, what are you doing? Just like go back to the corporate world, just go back and make more money. Like
it's so easy to make more money.
it's so easy. Like, you know, and I had presented many different times my business plan to people throughout those years. And I got no. And it's just like, you just have to know that if you have a passion and you know that your purpose is something, and you know it in your heart and your gut and your soul, and it's who you are, then you just have to keep moving forward and putting one foot in front of the other. And then with that is that if you can delegate the things you don't like to do so that you can do the things that you do like to do well.
Yeah, that's such great advice. And I really just received that. And I can't agree with you more. I mean, because I think too often people think that you can set intentions or you can dream, but you don't have to work. And both are integrated and need to be done. So I really thank you for that guidance. And just, I want you to leave people with your Instagram and where they should follow you, and anything specific that's related to the business that you would love to share with people. This is your time, and I'd love for you to have it.
So you can visit us at PLATEFIT. So it's PLATEFIT .co, or just on Instagram, it's just at PLATEFIT. I just encourage you that if you don't know about vibration, or you've had an experience that you don't like because you haven't come to our class, then that you should come and try it. Give yourself 1 to 3 sessions to acclimate, because it is a bit weird for most people because you are on vibration, but I think it's so incredibly healthy for people, and it should be part of everyone's workout routine just because of the health benefits alone. And if you're here, let us know. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, I love that. And thank you so much again. I so appreciate it. And
I appreciate you. This is
I'll
awesome.
see you in class.
Yeah. All right. Bye, babe.
Bye.